the heck are you, my friend?
I'm just great. How are you?
Oh.
Although I took the big L last week. So
what happened?
But that happens.
What happened?
Well, I had the Lions, and they're dead.
Yeah, but there were 3 other games.
Yeah, there were. But I didn't do well. No, can we move on?
Hold on.
Pigskin in the Purge.
I mean, let's just get this out of the way now. There is a PA in public service announcement. Those of you pondering spotting up, our work is done. Yours has just begun. Here's Mick talking. Let's find out who he likes this weekend. Commanders at Eagles, Philly -6. Who do you like and why?
Well, I like the. I'm going to go with the Commanders. I'm going to take the points because anyone doubting Jaden Daniels now, I tell you, he's just a handful, and I think McLaren is just. I mean, did you see the catch he made the other night? I doubted him. I had no faith in them, but now I believe in them. How's that?
Bills at Chiefs.
A 180.
The champs are 1.5. Who do you like and why?
Oh, boy. I was all over Buffalo. I'm trying to convince myself that I'm still all over Buffalo, but I forgot there's Patrick Mahomes on the other side, who doesn't lose. And, yes, the big conspiracy, the league wants him to win and blah, blah, blah. I think I'm still going to stick with my first pick, which you probably always should, and I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills to win the game.
Let me cut loose with this 7 seconds out of our lives. We'll never get back. Hold on.
Why don't you give me half the money you were going to bet? Then we'll go out back, I'll kick you in the nuts, and we'll call it a day.
Welcome back to the show.
Hey,
fair enough. Fair enough.
Pat Micheletti, he's on the mural at Mariucci. Don't add him. But if you
have you handicapped this yet? Have you
the games
come up with your winners?
No, not yet. Well, why would I do that on a Wednesday when the games are on Sundays?
That's probably why I lose.
Now, if don't add Pat, but if you do add him, at Pat Mick 2626. What do you like Kevin O'Connell as coach of the Minnesota Vikings? He just got that ballyhooed extension.
I'm glad they got it done. I believe you need the consistency in your staff, and he's done a fabulous job. I think he's a wonderful communicator, and the people love him. And guess what, Paul? Like players, maybe coaches aren't going to have their greatest games. And I'm not saying that he had a poor game, but you know what? Everybody is not at the top of their game all the time, but the majority of the time he is, and I'm thrilled that he's back.
Talk it. What about John Hines? What do you like about the work he's doing with the Minnesota Wild?
His ability to get the guys to follow the script is through the number of games that we've played thus far. He has done a masterful job of doing that. And an example, the other day against Colorado, they go in to Colorado, a team that smoked them the last time at the X, and they played the whole game to a script that he set out. They defended terrifically. They gave up nothing in the neutral zone, which was masterful. You know how speedy and skilled the Colorado Avalanche are, and they couldn't get going. And so when you do that, even if sometimes when you don't have the best players available, you tip your hat, and he's done a terrific job with the group.
21-year-old blue liner David Jiricek. He's going to be good, isn't he?
I thought it was a great trade. Where do you when are you able to get a first round pick who is 21 years old, who is still a little raw, who has an upside that is through the roof with his size and his offensive ability? Does he need some work on his footwork and is skating a little bit? For sure. But I tell you what, I've been really, really impressed with him. And if you put him with the right partner when he's young, he'll learn. And I think that was a great trade.
4-10-1 against Western Conference playoff teams, Tocchet. What bugs Mick Tocchet about that?
Absolutely nothing, Paul, because we play an 82-game schedule, and the regular season is nothing like the playoffs. And secondly, how are you at the end of the year? Are you healthy? Are all of the facets of your game going? Are you on a winning streak? Are you feeling good? To me, that's the most important thing. Let's say we end up facing Dallas, which probably we will in the first round. How are they? Are they going to be healthy? How's their power play? How's their penalty kill? Is their goaltending where it should be? So to me, these games during the regular season, sure, a little bit of bragging rights and all points are good points, but it doesn't bother me what their record is against some of these teams heading in to the playoffs.
Your alma mater, your Gophers, are at number 2 Michigan State this weekend. It's a 2 versus 3. Mott's go on the 9 to noon show tomorrow at 9:15ish, 9:20ish. First, what do you think about the series? Secondly, sources tell me you're going to be on the call Friday night on KFAN.
To answer your second question, yes, it will be on the Fan, which is great for the Gopher hockey fans, that they'll get a chance to hear Wally Shaver on the call, and the series, I think, will be the best series of the season in college hockey. In my opinion, these two teams are the best two teams in the country. Trey Augustine in the net for Michigan State is very, very difficult to beat. I think he should win the Hobie. I think he should be player of the year. So they got to get past him, but I love Minnesota's depth. Michigan State has good depth. I think Minnesota has a little bit more scoring, and I think Minnesota's defense is a little bit better, but they're on the road. It's going to be a great series, Paul.
Pat Micheletti at Pat Mick 2626, radio, TV broadcasting, part of the 9 to noon covenant, Beyond the Pond on the weekends, and hockey immortality in the state of Minnesota. He's on the mural at Mariucci. Don't add him. Which Gophers players are best suited to carry them through trying times?
Well, that's the difficult part of analyzing this team, because it's been a different player kind of every night. Connor Kurth gets hot. He leads the country in plus minus, and, he got hot last weekend. He was really good, even though he was playing hurt. I mean, you have Jimmy Snuggerud, who's third in the nation in scoring. I think maybe you've jumped up to number 2. Very well could have. I have to research that. But, he's been good. Matthew Wood, the guy they got out of the portal from UConn, has been terrific. Oliver Moore is your energy guy. I mean, guy doesn't take a shift off. And then you look on the back end, Sam Renzel, he'll be a first team All-American. He's just been fabulous back on the blue line. So to answer your question, it's kind of spread around, and one guy seems to step up on a particular night.
Now, lastly, when I catch Coach Motzko tomorrow at the airport, because they're flying to East Lansing, so
yep.
He's going to be at the airport, which means he's going to be at like F6, G2, whatever it is, which means
flight leaves at 10. By the way, flight leaves at 10.
Okay, he'll have players around him. Which means if I get a chance to chat with my beloved Oliver Moore, how is he improving, and how is he playing these days?
Well, he's really upped his offensive game. His ability now to take some time, find an open guy, make plays. So he's improved his offensive game tremendously over last year. Last year, as you recall, had the Jets could blow by anybody, but now he's taking his time a little bit. He picks his spots. His vision is so much better. And he's playing with Matthew Wood now, and Wood reads off of him so well. So those two together have been really, really good for Minnesota.
Talk it. Have a good time on the radio. Great catching up with you. Maybe next week we do it in studio if you have time. And safe travels, my brother.
Thank you, my friend. Pat
Micheletti, Hockey Immortality in the state of hockey. By the way, Hockey Day Minnesota, I think, is this weekend, right?
This weekend, yes.
Yep. Kevin McGorg is going to do the first hour with us tomorrow, but we go guest to guest to guest. But we'll slip that in with KG for sure. I think he does some play-by-play. I know he has a big role in Hockey Day Minnesota. So with FanDuel Sports Network, that's going to take place this weekend. Likewise for Gophers and Michigan State University. East Lansing, go crazy. Trent Tucker, Magic Johnson, go crazy. Pat Micheletti on the call Friday night on KFAN. Back after this.
The Fan wants to give you a chance to put $1,000 in your hand with the National Cash Contest. Go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword green. You might win some. Is it $1,000 with the keyword green at KFAN.com.
Super cool chat with Minnesota Timberwolves head coach Chris Finch to start second segment of the radio show. First segment was about Kevin O'Connell and his contract extension. Chris got a contract extension from the Hal 6 months ago, so we began with Chris talking about Kevin and being like, when you get that extension and somebody shows that kind of faith in you, isn't part of it like you just want to fix everything immediately?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's it's full. You're full of gratitude, and also you feel like they've entrusted the franchise to you, and you want to be the best that you possibly can be, and continue to do what you're doing, and just keep building on it.
It's a difficult role, getting to know you and working next to Kevin. There are a lot of hours and sacrifices and things like that. And, you're 22 and 21 this year. You of course, would like more wins, and you'll get them. O'Connell got bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Of course, he doesn't like that. But really, every single day, don't you just feel blessed to do the job of head coaching a pro sports team?
Oh, no doubt about it. I always say I'm one of the lucky 1%ers in the world who gets to do something that they absolutely love to do. It doesn't feel like you have a job. It feels like you're working on your passion. It comes with a ton of sacrifices. It comes with a ton of pressure, and it's all consuming. It can ruin even the good parts of your life at times if you let it. But we're lucky to do it, and I'm sure Kevin at some point is like never imagined really being here or in this position, but that makes it even more special sometimes when you step back and you're able to think about your journey and where you are and how you got there and how lucky you are and how lucky you are to work with such great athletes and such first-class organizations.
No doubt about that, man. And for Chris's team, Dallas tonight, what the heck got into Daniel Gafford on MLK Day? 31 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 blocks. Holy cow.
Well, when you lose a guy like Luka, you have to reinvent yourself as you go along. And, of course, it means, you're going to need the guys to step up, and maybe you have to change the way you play, and they've done a good job of that. They've altered the way they've played stylistically. They used to be one of the top pick-and-roll teams in the league with Luka. Now their pick-and-roll rate is more near the bottom. They play a little bit more, in ISOs and post-ups and featuring guys and trying to get guys back to their game where they can, really, kind of maximize all their individual pieces, if you will. So he's got a good touch. He's, can get to his left shoulder, make the jump hook. He's always been pretty bouncy. And, he's perfect for what they do alongside Luka, but he's also got a little bit more game than they've been able to use in that system. So they've changed their system a little bit, which gives them opportunities to feature him. And he's taking advantage.
With that Memphis game, Jaren Jackson seems to be having the best season of his career. I didn't know he was good with his right hand. All right, now, most of them are ambidextrous or they've worked on it super hard so that they can go both ways. But I mean, like late in the game when Julius down by the block forced him to the right side and got him down to the baseline, I'm like, yeah, look at this. And then Triple J comes up with this right-hander, this push shot that goes in. That was crazy.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player. He is really having a I wouldn't say a breakout year because he's definitely been a star player for a number of years, but he's having a career year. And to that point, we were sitting on that left hand trying to take it away, and we were late on our rotation when he did come back to the right. But he's able to score at all ranges. Make the three, drive you, has that floater, can score in the post, and he has great size too. And with kind of a gangly game, he's coming at you and spinning off you, but he has an incredible touch. So he's a very gifted player at both ends of the floor.
We Chris, we mentioned earlier 22 and 21, but for what it's worth, I'm an outsider, man. It's my opinion, but I watch all the games. I like how you guys are playing right now. I mean, I can see incremental progress, so that the fluidity of things is starting to look like it looked last year when it got really good, especially McDaniels and Naz Reid. Do you like how it's progressing, and what are you liking about the aforementioned two?
Yeah, I do like how it's progressing. I think offensively we look way better. We're scoring easier. We're generating better shots. We're playing with pace. The guys are moving the ball. They're understanding spacing. I think Jaden's really playing well. He's doing a lot of little things, not just relying on whether a shot goes in. Naz looks like he's back to his old self with his scoring confidence for sure. But Julius has not had big scoring nights of late, but he's really creating a lot of good shots. I mean, kind of playing through him in his lineups. Anthony's doing a better job of accepting the balance of when to be aggressive versus certain types of defenses, when to get off of it. For me, it's just about closing games now. Now we struggle to close games. And that's a variety of things: mistakes, execution, shot making down the stretch. We got to be a little bit better in all those categories. But we've been playing well. We've been able to control the large parts of these games. And hopefully we can start finishing them off.
Other side of the equation, and with respect, how in the heck can a guy Rudy's size manage just 2 defensive rebounds at Memphis? What happened there?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be better for us right now. I think it's one place where we need him to get back to his old self for sure. I think there's a lot of size, there's a lot of bodies coming at you, and with Memphis, and he probably got tangled up with them, but he's got to free himself, go get the glass, he's not his best self, and he knows it. So we're going to challenge him to get back to where we need him to be the team that we know we can be.
You and after the Memphis game, you said rebounding of late has been a problem. Okay, and of course I'm going to defer to what you say. You know 1,000 times more about it than me. But does hooking the high end Memphis size group and the Cavaliers size they offer with Allen and Mobley, does that play into it, or is something missing here?
Yeah, I think that there are certainly times where we are small and smaller than we, let's say, were last year. Cat was a very good rebounder, and he was 7 foot tall, so he gave us, added length and rebounding. And we felt like we always had that out there. 2 years ago, we struggled to rebound the ball. Cat missed 50 games. So there's some correlation there. I do think this is when you get, to the things that we can control, I do feel like, we got to go get the ball in the air. I've been saying this for a few weeks now. Like, we try to rebound on the ground, and, even though I think guys are trying to box out and carve out space because maybe they think they're giving up size, but at the end of the day, it's still it's an in the air contest, and we got to go get it in the air. It's one thing Dante DiVincenzo does so well. For a small, he really competes in the air. I think that would really help Rudy right now in particular. We got to go get the ball. Some of it just comes down to that pursuit of the ball.
Chris Finch, coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, weekly 9 to noon. Thank you, Second Harvest Heartland and 2harvest.org. Also, Prize Picks. Dillingham turned 20 2.5 weeks ago. What's it like raising him from a dominating college guy to a responsible, game-changing pro?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's playing really well for us now, so we're super excited about that, and hopefully he can just continue to build on it. And we know there'll be ups and downs, and we're committed to his development. It's been fun, it really has been. I mean, Pablo Prigioni works with him on a daily basis. He's lucky to have a guy like that. He's lucky to have a guy like Mike Conley to play alongside of, all of his teammates really, really love him. Like when he goes into the game, you can just see the energy and the intensity pick up on the offensive end for sure. And he's just got to stay patient with it all. If he's at a different team, like a rebuild team, he probably is playing a lot more minutes, has a bigger role, but it's this path for him. He doesn't realize it right now, but it'll probably be a way better one for him. And now that we're 40 games into the season and he's going to have a more consistent role, it's his time to seize the opportunity to just keep building on that.
Edwards, the alpha, best player on the team. I mean, he just seems to absolutely adore the kid. I mean, it's like Anthony's not that much older than Dillingham, but he puts his arm around him like he's a surrogate dad. When Dillingham and Edwards are on the floor together, what are you expecting from those two when they're together?
Well, it gives us two guys who really have, command to go somewhere with the ball, and get to the heart of the defense, make a play. Both of them can score it, Rob gives us a pace, really good pace. Those guys will continue to develop a good chemistry and continue to understand how to play off each other well. Ant's always been outstanding at rooting for his teammates, being the biggest cheerleader for all these guys. He's also imparting some experiences, that he had when he was young and had to kind of work and wait through his opportunities. And once they come, as long as you make the best of them, they keep coming.
Dillingham hasn't played a ton until of late, but he's yet to get to the foul line. That's crazy. The whole season hasn't been to the foul line. Does he need to play more downhill?
Well, he does get that. He's downhill, but he's got a really good in-between game. He's got the runner and the floater, and when he does get to the hoop, it's usually wide open. I think it's important for all guards in the league right now to understand how to draw fouls, and that'll be a big part of his development coming up. Is how do you get to the free throw line more consistently?
A couple more here. I know you got a bus to catch for the morning shoot. And lastly, on Dillingham, clearly super fast with the ball and quite gifted. Mm-hmm. So from what you've seen during your career, Chris, what are some challenges a 20-year-old faces adapting to games against veterans like, say, Kyrie Irving tonight?
Well, I mean, listen, if you just put aside the skill and experience and the strengths of those older guys, those established stars that you're going to face. I think when you watch these guys on TV, you're growing up, of course you admire them. You may even steal from their game. And when you're a top 10 pick and a great prospect and talented young player like Rob, like you feel like you can, you're as good as these guys. And that's great. That's a lot of the confidence that these guys need and have carried them to where they are now. When you get up close and personal, you realize that they're a lot better maybe than you even thought. And the biggest thing that young players need to learn is just the speed at which the game, everything that's happening, it may not be just around Kyrie. It'll be, off the ball, the movement, the spacing, the speed at which someone closes you down. Like, it's all just so much different than what you're used to. And it's starting to really slow down for Rob, and you can see that. And that's why he's, starting to feel more comfortable and play better out there. And so I'd say it's more just the whole floor rather than just the star players that are out there.
Yeah, that is interesting because at Madison Square Garden, he's playing against Brunson. He was in high school when he watched Jalen play in college. And then you got Garland and Mitchell, and you got Kyrie tonight, who Rob's watched a ton and probably loves his game. It's kind of like back when you were 20 years old. wanting to coach like Gene Shue, Billy Cunningham, and or Dick Motta. That helps you relate to him, right?
Well, I think the last thing I would say about that is, Rob's got to be ready because they're going to come at him. They're going to try to exploit him. And, that's one thing all season long, what I've been most pleased and impressed with is his fight defensively has been really good. Now he, particularly on the ball, off the ball is where, a lot of these young guys struggle because, like I said, the movement, the concepts, the rotations, all that's maybe so very different and so fast at the NBA level from where they've come from. But his on-ball compete has been really good, and even though he's giving up size and strength, that's where it starts for me, and that kind of gives me an indication of how much you care about defense.
Conley's 37% in January. So do you just have to wait that out, or is there a problem?
Nah, these things come back around. I do. I think. I've been recently, particularly in the start games, he's been scoring well. When he does, we play even better than, that we're at our best. So we need him to continue to be aggressive. I think once he gets back to being fully more comfortable just being the scorer and being more aggressive, there were times the other night in the Memphis game where I thought he, turned some shots down to be a playmaker, which is who he is naturally. But if if he's more aggressive there, he makes a few shots, I think it's different. And that's what we need from him right now.
Last one, from 22 and 21. It's fact that you're a winning streak. You guys are a winning streak from jumping teams in the West and like moving up to the 5 spot. Do the players see that and how are they handling the topsy-turvy nature of the season?
Yeah, the players definitely see that when we talk about it quite a bit, how close it is and the meaningful nature of every single game. It's a little bit of a two-edged sword, though, PA, because, right now with the way the league is, and particularly in the West, it's just every night just feels like it's must-win and super meaningful game, which is what you want from all competition. But, the NFL is different. Like, NFL is 17 do or die weeks, and the mentality to prepare for that is way different. When you're playing 82 games and you have to mentally prepare for 82 must wins, that's unusual in the league. Normally there's more strata in the league where you can have off nights and win. It doesn't mean you don't put the effort in. It's just like mentally, you're not always going to have it. So I think this year more than ever, the league is kind of suffering from just this mental fatigue from all the parity that's in it. Because the NBA is just not wired. I think I'm not sure it's even mentally healthy to play 82 must-win games in 6 months period. So
wonderful chat. Have fun this morning at the shoot-around, and best of luck tonight, all right?
All right, thanks, PA.
That's Wolves coach Chris Finch with PA from earlier today. We are your home for Timberwolves basketball. It'll be a 6:15 p.m. pregame, 6:30 p.m.-ish tip-off. Minnesota Timberwolves at the Dallas Mavericks. No Luka, but they still got Tyree. It's always tough against the Mavs. Looking forward to that. We are your home for the Howl. We're also your home for Wild Hockey, and it's Wild Wednesday. So I'm just going to open up the phone lines. 800-320-5326, 1-800-320-5326. I got a pair of tickets to tomorrow night's Wild game hosting the Utah Hockey Club. Will they be the Yeti? Will they be something else? Not sure yet, but I got some tickets. And that also is in conjunction with Minnesota Wild's Faith and Family Night tomorrow night versus Utah. So the ticket pack, you're going to get into the game, but you also get access to a pregame event with Minnesota Wild chaplain Bill Butters, plus Wild alumni Ryan Carter and former Gopher Jake Taylor. So tickets to the game, tickets to Wild's Faith and Family Night, that's for tomorrow, wild.com/faith for more information. But caller number 11, 800-320-5326. I got a prize pack for you. Final segment, 9 to noon is...
I can't wait.
All righty. So yours truly came up with some informal fan opinions on the new Kevin O'Connell deal. Now, this is after assembling fan opinions from the text machine here, 64686, Twitter, emails to me and a few chats at a kid's basketball game the other night. And it's very informal. All were in favor of Kevin O'Connell coaching the team basically forever. Most asked about the potency of the running game. And we heard that via talkback earlier.
Yeah.
Some wondered why we don't run the running back pitch, then shovel to the wide receiver, like we all saw the other night for the first time in our lives, and it was beautiful. I can't answer that. All are excited. He's the one working with J.J. McCarthy, as are we, given Kevin's past performances, not only with Matthew Stafford, but through Cuz Buzz, through everything here. Darnold, best season of his career. All can tell he genuinely cares about the product, which is important. One lady met him at a supermarket, and she shared she was quite overwhelmed. He took a picture with her and her kids. KOC, yeah, you know we. One guy was worried about the individual's upcoming taxes and wondered if Kevin would spot him $10,000 because he's loved the team and had season tickets for 20 years. Like, we can push the envelope, but I don't know if we can push an envelope that size. A few wondered why we don't see more Jefferson shorties across the middle.
Ooh.
I was thinking about that a little bit, too, because you're putting, like, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, or let's say when O'Connell was working with McVay, Cooper Kupp over the middle, I mean, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Justin and Cooper aren't built the same. So when you just think, not shallow crosses, but quick hitting slants, 3-step drop, boom, slant, middle, those receivers have a tendency to get killed. So I don't know that when the individual said that the other night, had me thinking a little bit. And in patented Minnesota fashion, they all were unanimous on maybe next year is our year. But everybody's happy for Kevin O'Connell. Likewise for yours truly and Eric Nordquist, the producer. And podcast the 9 to Noon show when it's available. So you can listen to the Stevie Wonder, signed, sealed, and delivered, plus much more. For Eric, I'm Paul. Box in the Box tomorrow with Tria. Bye-bye.
The game is over.
Big boy's back. Now, what did I do wrong?
For a day at least, the cold streak broke, and we're used to it, sure, but man, it ain't a joke, and it was cute of Florio. He was trying to relate, and I hope that his heated blanket works great. Just once in our lives, can we see a title loving on the Commanders, because our team's sitting idle? It'll happen when they're ice skating in NOLA. It'll happen when they're sledding on the beach in Pensacola. Oh wait, well now what? It's up to KO to keep the door from being shut. 34 wins, optimism's there for a reason, but let's just get it out here now. It's McCarthy season, and it's time to let the kid get loose. And it's time to find a running back with some juice. But I need my O-line looking like a herd of moose if either have any chance to produce.
Big Daddy Khan's blowing up.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.